Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
Straight from Twin Town Sports Central. I feel like doing a light switch rave right now. It's the Grovcast. What's up, everybody? Eric Grover here. Sports editor of the Wahpeton Daily News. And that time of year again. Hoops fever. But we got some other stuff going on, too. It's winter sports season. It has begun. It is beginning. It is on. Like Donkey Kong. Yes, high school basketball, high school sports, high school wrestling, high school hockey, high school gymnastics. Everything's going down right now. It's an exciting time of the year. And there's lots of teams with a lot of potential to talk about. Let's go through them one by one, shall we? Start with the Breckenridge girls basketball team. Short on numbers, only 8. But they're already 1-0 with a big win over Minnewaska last night. It's going to be a challenge for them to keep the energy up. You know, the sub pattern is, the bench is short. And it's going to be up to some talented seniors led by Amber Vold, the three-point sniper, to get things done in that category. Breck boys lost a lot of seniors. It's going to be a fresh-looking team. All 5 starters gone from last season. They got contributors like Ryan Raddick, who can go up and throw it down, he tells me. I want to see that in a game, Ryan. And Casey Materi, who can shoot the 3. But from there, if Blake Anderson-Wilcox can get healthy, we'll see what's next for this team. Wahpeton Huskies. Girls return the whole team. Last year was tough for them. And this year should be a little bit better, I think, because they know what to expect. They know what's coming on, what's coming after them, what's going to be on the floor, who's going to be on the floor, how they're going to do it, what the offense is. They got a chance here. They got a chance to definitely get into the state tournament, which is what they want to do. It'll be the first time that that's happened in a long while. So hopefully they have what it takes. And the Husky boys have what it takes to be at the top of the conference. Lots of talent on that team. Lots of shooters. Inside play is where it's going to be won or lost for them. It's going to be up to guys like Nick Holcup, Zane Medhog, who aren't as big or as tall as maybe they'd like to be to handle some of those guys in the EDC in the lane. But they're going to have to work hard. And with guys like my man C. Money Miller and Jeremy Bonchis, the list goes on, they are going to score some points. But it's going to be up to the defense to see what's going on there. Blades Hockey moving to Minnesota. Playing some new teams this year, new conference. Playing some teams more their size. And that should result in some more wins. I'm excited to see what's going on with Blades this season. They're kicking off their season on Saturday, I believe. And after that, we're going to have some college hockey at the Stern Sports Arena. Looking forward to that. Wrestling. Breck is bringing back a lot of talent, led by Steven Erlandson, state runner-up last year. And with guys like Cole Prouse, who's got a great mustache, by the way. I don't know if he still has it. I haven't seen him in a few days. Brother Greg Erlandson. I know I'm forgetting tons of people, but they are stacked, and they could get as many as 4 or 5 guys going to state this year. Conrad Condos was another guy making state last year as only a freshman. So hopefully he can take the next step there and get even higher in the placings. WAP Wrestling is going to be an adventure. They're 2-0 though, really dedicated, putting a lot of effort on the mat, and that's great to see. No seniors so far for the Huskies. Maybe some guys will join on later, but right now they're going to work with what they have, and what they're doing is successful. They are 2-0 in conference. Just beat South on Tuesday. Can't ask for much more. Getting lots of effort, lots of wins, lots of pins. That rhymed. From the lightweights and the middleweights. That's what I want to see. And they might have a state wrestler or two up their sleeves. We'll have to see how this year plays out for them. Of course, the Big Dan Unruh meet is at NDSES on Friday and Saturday, both days. So go check that out. All right. Well, as you may or may not know, the Winter Sports Preview came out today in Wednesday's edition of the Daily News. So you'll probably hear, you'll read, I should say, a lot more of what you just heard about all your favorite local teams. But while I was gathering interviews and talking with coaches, I just had a spectacular conversation with NDSES men's basketball coach Scott Schumacher, who, as I said on 1450, their morning show the other day, he's just a great basketball mind. I could talk to him for hours just about zone, busting zones, boxing out. He just knows basketball. He knows the game, and he always puts together such a great team. So I know this interview is a week old. The Cats were 9-0 at the time of this conversation, 10-1 now, but still playing really well. Take a chance and listen to my interview with Scott Schumacher, talking about last year's team and what to expect from this season. Well, you guys are undefeated right now on paper, but I'm sure there's some things that you could find.
I think that I think that our basketball team has used their strengths to their advantage. Obviously, there's some things that I've had to do differently to allow them to play to their strengths. Mm-hmm. Whereas last year's team, we had to really work the ball on offense and really concentrate on running time off the clock to work for our shots. Mm-hmm. Whereas these guys are more talented offensively and can get shots quicker within the offense, easier. I think that we have to get, the biggest thing that we have to do is get more of a mentality to grind things out. Instead of playing defense for 10 or 15 seconds in the shot clock, we have to want to play it for 20, 25, 30 seconds. When it does call for moving the ball and, using some time off the clock to our advantage, we have to learn how to do that. But I think we're very talented offensively.
Yeah.
They're very athletic. They can shoot, they can pass, they can score.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. It's a lot easier to try to get them to guard than it is to try to be able to get them to score points, trust me. I think any coach will tell you that.
I was just talking with them. They say that they take a lot of pride in the defense. Defense is going to be a big key for you.
Yeah, and
that always is.
No, yeah, but these guys are very athletic, and they're very athletic, and I think they have used that, like I said before, to their advantage. I think that if they do get a mentality towards it, and it needs to be everybody, not just some of us. If it's everybody can get that mentality, then their athleticism will really take off. It's just like, you and I were talking, and, it looked like that game the other night against Hibbing was this and that, but yet we hold them to 28% from the field. Northeast, I'm being interviewed, and, they got to the rack at will again. Well, but we held them to 40%. So I don't think necessarily sometimes it's how many points they score, it's what's their shooting percentage. Because anytime you play fast-paced basketball like we're playing, the other team's always going to be able to get a lot more shots on offense. But,
Do you have that proven wing score this year like you did with Trent last year?
I think I think we're extremely different than last year.
Yeah.
I think last year, Trent, it was interesting because last year those guys just fit into such a, Siobhan scored off the drive. Trent was our 3-point shooter. Norris was our, 18 to 15 mid-range foot scoring guy. Hanif was our dirty work guy and scored in the paint, scored off cheap buckets. Now this year, we've got 6 guys that could logistically be our leading scorer. I mean, Greg Tucker, Tommy Woolridge, Fred Joseph, Joe Trafair, Jonathan Meston, and Jeremy Newton. Mm-hmm. We have 6 legitimate guys that if I put them, if we said, okay, this guy's going to be our main scorer, those 6 guys could fill that bill. Go ahead.
So you're saying that last year we had kind of more of a traditional team, and this year it's more hybrid. Is that good or bad?
Nah, I think it's good. I think that's why, when I said earlier, I have to kind of change my thought process and change what I'm doing. It's interesting. This is my 4th year, and this is my 3rd different style of how to coach my team, which usually doesn't happen. But, with our situation, you've got to adapt to the players that you're able to get to come to school here. And, I like the fact, I think it's very difficult for defenses to guard us because we do have so many offensive weapons. And I tell them all the time, and that's what we talk about, fellas, we know you can score. Are you going to guard and share the ball, play together enough to win? Yeah. And so far they have done that. This was a very difficult stretch. It was a difficult stretch last year. What people don't remember last year is we went over to Fergus. We were basically losing the entire game, and we were down like 5 or 6 with like a minute 30 to go, and we were able to pull that one out. So, go ahead.
And Curtis hit that shot.
Yep. No.
Was it Curtis?
Siobhan hit it. Siobhan hit it. I remember Jeremy stole it from behind, called timeout, down 5 or 6, about a minute 20. But this year, so last year at that time, we didn't really come out as mentally sharp as we could have. Then we got into the weekend and we got sharper. Mm-hmm. And then this year we came out as razor sharp as we've been on Thursday, and it kind of went down. Yeah. So I really think our basketball team has a chance. Now this weekend is this is the weekend. I mean, Gillette is really, really good. Mm-hmm. And we're playing them on the road. Like, they're probably better than Northeast. And, but I think that's good for us down the road.
Being undefeated is not a concern of yours.
No, I mean, I want to win every game.
Well, sure.
But I think every coach will tell you that. I mean, but I don't think there's very many people in very many sports that have ever been able to win every game. So now, that's not, I don't talk about it. I'm not focused in on it. I mean, I tell them, hey, you're 9-0, we're 8-0, we want to be 9-0. Yeah. But it's not, no, my deal is I want them to try to get a defensive mentality and understand that they have to share the basketball and work together to get the shots. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get them to understand.
Last year, I felt that Greg was probably the best point guard. I thought Bruce was a good player.
But
I thought that Greg had that extra something.
Yeah. Greg is...
Now he's the guy, and he's the leader.
Yeah. Greg is extremely athletic, extremely gifted. He's just an extremely gifted athlete. Mm-hmm. His mentality is not one to be a point guard. His mentality is one to be a 2 guard.
This kind of works better for him.
It worked. Well, yeah. You have to be very selfless to be the point. You have to be very... It's the special, and any coach will tell you, for their coach's basketball, when you have those point guards that are special like that, then you usually have a pretty good basketball team. Mm-hmm. I thought that Norris was a very good point guard. I think that Fred Joseph has a chance to be really good. I think Anthony's very selfless. I think that Nick Walls, our guy we had here first, was very selfless. It takes a special kind of, because they have more dialogue with the head coach, stuff like that. And, Greg fits better at the combo guard, and we knew that last year. Yeah, we knew that last year, but he is just so explosive. And Tommy Wooldridge that's the one thing about our team. Tommy Wooldridge is extremely athletic and explosive. Greg's explosive. Fred Joseph is explosive. So we have a lot of speed and guys that can score.
Yeah. Well, what about John and that Euro ball dynamic he's brought to the team?
Yeah, John is really John is very level-headed. He's very much of the leader on the floor. I know Jeremy and Greg are, they lead, but John is the, really brings them together on the floor. He's done a lot. He's done a tremendous job rebounding, first of all. He's averaging 8.9 rebounds a game, but he is a definite three-point threat. And, we want him to take those shots. We play him in a certain position so that as he's trailing the play, that's when you can get, we're hoping with our speed and quickness, it sucks everybody down, and then we can kick back to him. But he's a very good player, and he just adds on to the three-point shot. We think that, one of the things that when we sat there and watched our group that we had coming back in the spring, we thought we need to go get some guys that can score. Because although Greg and Jeremy have really stepped their game up, we didn't know. So we thought one of our biggest things, we got to go get some guys that can score. Well, John, Fred, and Tommy are the ones we went and got.
Is Jeremy accepting that 6-man role? Seems like it.
I think he's accepting it. I think obviously he'd like to be a starter. I understand that. There's only 200 minutes, but he's a good player. He is a very good player, and we're looking to expand his role to get him more minutes because we think that he needs to be on the floor.
He was him and Greg on Sunday.
No doubt. They carried the whole thing. And Jeremy played well. He played real well. And the ego of an athlete is very,
especially a ball player.
Yeah, it's very, difficult to manage. And I give all those guys credit because so far they've been checked in pretty good. Yeah.
What are you concerned about with your team? My question would be,
go ahead.
The post presence, the inside, you don't really have that Curtis like you did last year, just that monster to take space.
That doesn't concern me. We're trying to put Joe and Dan Trell and Gerard in positions to bring them out on the floor to make our weakness our strength. So when they come out on the floor, we're trying to get them out on the floor in pick and roll situations so the other team's big guys have to come out. Now we've taken their strength and made it a weakness, whereas we took our weakness and made it our strength. Because I think Joe's really good. Joe's basically a face-up forward that we have to put in there. And so we're using him in pick and roll situations, pick and roll, pick and pop situations to make it strength for his. My concern with our team is, my biggest concern is when it gets down to the regional tournament, you're going to have to be able to execute a half-court offense. And, right now, we're getting a lot of buckets in transition. And that's fine, and that's good. But, just the mentality of us, of understanding why we're being successful and why we're not being successful. The perfect example is we were really, really good against the zone. Anybody would zone us, we were very good against it because those guys were good passers on the share ball. Well, we played Northeast Nebraska, and all of a sudden we're just out there jacking the threes until we started getting the ball to the short corner then when we started getting the ball inside, short corner, then we started being successful because then we were creating wide open 3-point shots plus easier shots at the bucket.
Sure.
So that's what concerns me.
How motivated are you? Because I know that there's a lot of new faces this year. But how motivated are you and the guys returning from last season at the regional championship, losing on the home floor?
I still have the box score right there from the regional championship. Put on my bulletin board, and I look at it every day.
That's what Greg said. He says he thinks about it every day.
There it is right there.
Look at that.
And then you see this. This is the second place regional thing. That goes right on my computer.
You must hate that.
No, I don't hate it. I just, I thought we had the best team last year. I don't think that there was any doubt about that. I mean, when you lose by 3 or 4 points and you shoot 50% from the free throw line, and your 2 guards go 7 of 25 from the field after they shot 50% all year, I don't think there's any doubt we were better. But that's why you have to play the games. Mm-hmm. And that's why you always, and we did not execute and do what we needed to do to win the game. And, I don't want to say that motivates me because I've been doing this long enough, but I would like to be on the winning side of a regional championship again this year.
Is nationals a possibility?
No, I think everything's a possibility. It just depends on how much they're willing to sacrifice for each other and how much they're willing to buy in.
All right, boys and girls. You hear the music. That must mean we've come to the end of another Grovcast. I know, it's sad. I'd like to thank Scott Schumacher for his time. This week's Grovcast has been sponsored by the letter V and the number 9. Good luck to all the teams out there. We'll catch you next week on the Grovcast.
I was once out